Yo, what is happening, guys, and welcome back to the Let's Talk Fighting Challenge. You can tell by the title and the thumbnail today, we will be talking about, in my opinion, what is the most exciting thing in YouTube boxing right now. Now, in mainstream boxing, we got the Alexander Usyk versus Fury fight. Was postponed, but we got the AJ versus Francis Ngannou fight. We got a bunch of different shit. We got UFC 299 coming up, or 298. I don't even know which one. We got UFC coming up. We got a lot of things. Then we skip over to the other side of it, the YouTube boxing scene. We got Jake Paul fighting soon, his next fight. We got KSI, I heard, possibly fighting Wayne Rooney. I just saw a Wade video on it. I'm not going to touch on it like personally, but I just saw a Wade video on it. Apparently KSI is trying to fight Wayne Rooney. I don't know about that. We got a bunch of different shit. We got a handicap match, which I'm going to make my own video on, which I might post at the same time as this, to be honest, so you might be able to see it on the channel. But we got the handicap match. And then we got this, which in my opinion is the best thing Misfits is doing right now. And one of the best ideas Misfits has come up with. What it kind of reminds you of is the Kingpin tournament. When they got 8 fighters and they decided, right, we're going to see who's the best. But in this case, this is essentially to fight up Dean's next fight. That's what it is. It is the Misfits Lightweight Interim Title Tournament. 8 fighters, all going to fight for, I assume, a belt, essentially. And then they're going to fight, I think, Dean the Great. And I'm excited for this because there are some good fighters in this tournament that if we... them against each other is insane, but then if we get them against Dean the Great, it's going to be more insane. I'm going to go for the fighters. We're going to list them off. We're going to talk about them a little bit. Number 1, which makes me excited, Waleed Sharks. Waleed Sharks is the number 1 entry in this tournament, which is honestly great because Waleed Sharks obviously just coming off the loss to Dean the Great in the rematch. He lost the first one, he lost the second one. Waleed really needs to make a statement and bring this back now, and this tournament's perfect. Imagine Waleed goes through this tournament, destroys everybody, faces Dean for the third time, and possibly upsets him. That would be insane. That would be an insane underdog storyline. So Waleed's in this. Joey Knight is in this. I'm very excited for that, obviously. Joey Knight, we've only seen once on Misfits. I believe he's had other boxing matches, I think, but we've only seen him once on Misfits. It was against Most Wanted, and Joey Knight absolutely showed that it was a completely different ball game there. He got in the terms of YouTube boxing, he put on a boxing clinic. That's literally what he did. He got in. You could see that him and Most Wanted shouldn't have been in the same ring together. He literally got in there, and after like 2 minutes, I decided, okay, do you know what? I want to see this guy against the likes of Waleed Sharks and Dean the Great. As soon as that fight ended, me and my friend were talking, and I literally said, I kind of want to see him get a few more fights under his belt, a little bit more experience, because obviously he has experience, but I haven't seen too much of it. Once he gets a little bit more experience for fighting YouTubers, I was like, I wouldn't mind seeing him face Dean the Great and the likes of Waleed Sharks. And I even mentioned Yuddy Gang. I said I wouldn't mind seeing him fight Yuddy Gang either. This tournament is to essentially fight Dean the Great. Waleed Sharks and Yuddy Gang is in it. So everything that I said I wanted for Joey Knight, I'm basically getting, because he's literally in this tournament. Honestly, if he's not one of the favourites, I will be very shocked. We're going to get him either versus Yuddy Gang or Waleed. As long as them 3 win their fights, they're all going to face off at some point. Like I said, Yuddy Gang is in this as well. He is also one of the participants. We saw Yuddy Gang. What impressed us is in the tag team match, Waleed and Dean versus Yuddy Gang. And I can't even remember, IPAP, I think. Yuddy Gang basically 2v1'd Dane and Waleed, and don't get me wrong, they lost, but he stood in there for all those rounds after IPAP dislocated his shoulder and took it and threw back. He didn't give up. He was basically in the first handicap match, that's what it was. Fox G's fighting in a handicap match, but you know what, Yuddy Gang was basically the first YouTuber to fight in a handicap match because he basically fought that by himself, and he stood there and he traded, he took punches, he gave punches with Waleed and Dean, which is 2 of the best in this weight class. Dean at the very top. And he gave Dean a run for his money. He gave Waleed a run for his money. Now, he came up short. But for a 2v1 against 2 fighters like that, you got to give him his respect. So he's in this tournament, which makes it more interesting. I'm so excited for this, bro. Then we got Lil Cray Cray. I don't know too much about Lil Cray Cray, but that was actually supposed to be Dean the Great's tag team partner in the first place in this tournament. So that's interesting. Then we got Ace Musa. I'm pretty sure Ace Musa, if I'm correct, I believe he lost to Waleed, but I'm actually not too sure. That might have been IPOP. Then we got Tasmanian Devil. Ain't seen him fight before, but he looks built as fuck. So he's probably going to get in there and be a heavy hitter. We got Argentinian King which is also in this tournament, and we got Baby Hulk. So that is the 8 fighters. I'll put them on the screen somewhere now. The 8 fighters is in this tournament. The ones we know the most, like I said, Waleed Sharks, Joey Knight, Yachty Gang. That is the ones we know the most. We got obviously the Ace Moose or the Baby Hulk, but we don't know too much of them. But those are the three that, in my opinion, if you were to ask me right now, put your money, pick 3 of them. Those are the 3 that I think it's going to come down to, and I can't wait, bro. We know I've already seen the card. I'm gonna do a video on it, like I said, a separate video. But I know that Waleed ain't fighting yet, and I know Yachty Gang and Joey Knight ain't facing off yet. So Yachty Gang and Waleed and Joey Knight, they're gonna face off later in the tournament, assuming they all win, which makes it that much more entertaining. I genuinely have not seen enough hype for this idea. I've seen a few people turn around and say that this idea is insane. I don't think this idea is getting enough love. Do you actually understand how crazy it's going to be? When we seen a tournament for Kingpin, don't get me wrong, it was insane. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was one of the best things they did in YouTube boxing. Unfortunately, Kingpin fucked it up because Kingpin always fucks it up. But it was one of the best ideas in YouTube boxing. And if it had a finish and it was funded correctly, if Misfits did it originally the same way Kingpin done, but actually funded it, it would have been insane. Now they're doing this. And like I said, it's built up to a fight with Dean. We want to see somebody get in there and give Dean competition. We thought Waleed was going to give Dean competition the second time around. And like I said, although I was cheering for Waleed, Dean got in there and beat the brakes off him, and that was it. This is a chance of Waleed if he wants a third fight. This is a chance of Joey Knight to skill the ranks. This is a chance of Yachty Gang versus Dean the Great, which we possibly want. This is a chance to see a lot of great matchups on different cards. And one of the best things about it is because we have 2 of those fights on the next card, we know the card after will be the likes of the Waleed Sharks fight and the whatever the other fight is going to be. We know for the next say 8 of them, we're going to have a guaranteed 1 to 2 fights of this tournament, which makes it interesting because that means every card has something on it. My issue with some of the cards, for example, I believe it was the JMX card. I can't remember which one it was. I didn't feel like there was enough on the line for anything. We had JMX versus Le'Veon Bell, but at the end of the day, that was kind of just fighting, and we kind of wanted the winner to fight Logan Paul, but we knew it wasn't going to happen, so there was nothing really on the line. The Prime card, KSI versus Tommy. KSI needs to beat a YouTuber, or he takes his first L. Logan obviously needs to beat up Dylan Danis. We got the Fox, the G1. Fox, the G created kind of a story. The mystery opponent versus Ed Matthews. There was always a story. There was always something on the line. Ed Matthews beating the mystery opponent, whoever the hell was, which obviously it turned out to be Pineda, would have built him up. But then Pineda did that for a spanner in the works, and now Pineda's building up. Every Misfits event builds stories and builds something that's going to continue like an avalanche coming down. It's just going to keep coming, and we're going to discover more shit. And this is one of these things. That's why I think it's so great. Like I said, for the next like as possibly 8 Misfits cards, even if there's a break in between, we know for the next 4 Misfits cards, we got something on the line. We got a tournament. And if Yachty Gang and Joey Knight fight and they win, and then Waleed and whoever the hell fight next, we might get Joey Knight and Yachty Gang on another card that KSI might possibly be on. And that's a fight I want to fucking see. And I think this tournament sets up perfect fights. We're going to get good fights in this tournament. It's going to set up good fights. It's going to set up good stories. It's going to set up good rivalries. Mams Taylor, the reason he's so good at Misfits is because he's a WWE fan. WWE is based on storylines and grabbing your attention. Mans Taylor has done that perfectly. That's why he done the mystery opponent in the first place. Even though the second time it was a little bit disappointing, the idea of it was insane. He's doing a handicap match. He's done tag team matches. He's done a survivor tag match. Mans Taylor knows how to grab your attention and reel you in, and this tournament is doing exactly that because I am excited for it, and I just can't wait until March 23rd rolls around because I just want to see who is really about that shit and who is gonna really just step up to Dean's level and say to Dean, you've had a few fights that no one's giving you competition. Now I'm here and you're actually gonna have to go through me. Who's gonna step up and give that? But before we even get to Dean, we're gonna have some fucking fights where they're just gonna go head on. So I think this is a very exciting time for Misfits. I think a lot of exciting things are set up as long as nobody, hopefully, fingers crossed, gets injured. This is gonna be insane. You could even have one of these fights as a main event, and if they're not a main event, that's a pretty damn good undercard. So that's all I'm saying. So yeah, that's my whole entire opinion on this, this tournament. I'm very excited for it. I think it's a great idea. It's going to set up a lot of great things, and I want you all to let me know in the comments down below what your opinions are of the whole tournament. I'm sure you all have positive things to say, but if you all have any critiques or negativities about it, let me know. Let me know what you think they could do to make this tournament better, or what you think that they're doing wrong with this tournament that they should maybe flip around. Let me know all your opinions about said topic down below. But as always, that is my opinion. Hope y'all enjoyed. Hope y'all have an amazing day. Hope y'all are thinking positive. And of course, hope y'all are staying safe. This was another video. Keep suggesting more topics and I'm going to keep doing it. But for now, I'll see you in the next one. So, peace.